Hello and welcome to a wet, wintry, wonderfully beautiful day. It is very wet where I am. How is it where you are? Wet is good though. Wet is what we need, which is why we have winter. But let's distract ourselves from the wet, wintry day. And today I'm going to show you the kissing technique of stamping. So I've got a couple of stamps here. And if you've never seen this technique before, well, it's a bit of fun. So today what I'm going to use is this stamp set here. Now, this particular one does come with thin cuts. So if you want stamp in thin cuts, it's Z4417. But you can buy the stamp set separately, and that's this one, which is C1931. As I've mentioned before in previous videos, all of the stamp sets will have their own little number on them, so you know which stamp set it comes from. And the reason I'm using this one is because I needed a solid stamp set. I purchased this stamp because it's got some beautiful balloons in here, and it comes with a thin cut as well. So I'm going to grab one of the balloons, and I wanted to replicate this fun pattern. So this stamp up here that says cake, the cake actually comes out with no colour on it, and then these dark areas come out with colour on it with a pattern on it. So I'm just going to mount up my little balloon, which is this tiny one here. I'm actually going to mount it on a slightly bigger block so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm just pressing that on, and I will, wow, early in the video my words are already going. So I'm going to season that stamp. And as I mentioned, I'm also using this stamp set here, which is the Perfectly Imperfect Patterns D2051. This is great if you want to splotch on your page, make messes, and make it look a little bit messy without actually getting messy. These stamps are fantastic for that. But so are these patterns as well. And I thought that this pattern here, this one here, kind of matched the pattern on this here. So what I wanted to show you was how you can use both of them together on a stamp. So I'm going to take that one off as well, and that's probably the one that I need on my 2x2 block, but that's okay. I'm going to pop that on my 3x3 block. So put that on and give that a season. All right, so now that I've got those both mounted up, move these out of the way, and I'll bring across, this is just some white cardstock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up my balloon with the beautiful Sundance, so a nice yellow color. So give this a really good ink up, and then I'm just going to, you can lie it down. I personally tend to stand my stamps up. Then I'm going to grab this pattern here and ink it up as well. So it does take 2 stamp sets when you are doing this kiss method. So I now have the candy apple on my pattern and the Sundance on my balloon, and what we do is we actually touch them together. So I've touched that on top of that one, and this will transfer the pattern across onto the balloon. Press that down and hold it, and hopefully you'll be able to see the pattern on there. Now what I meant to do first is I'm just going to clean this one off, and that is clean, is just do a plain one. So if I ink that up again and hold it on, you'll be able to see the difference between a plain pattern. So there's my plain balloon, and there's my balloon with a pattern. So you can see that's the kiss method. Let's do it one more time. You do want to clean your stamps off in between, just to make sure you're not transferring any ink. So I'll ink that up again with my Sundance. I love the colour Sundance. It's such a beautiful, it's not orange, yellow, but it is a beautiful sunny colour. So ink this one up as well, and as I did before, just close that over, just going to touch that to the stamp and then stamp it on paper. hold it down for a few seconds, lift it off, and that one actually worked even better. So there you go, I can get a pattern over the top of my balloon. Now I could do that by stamping, I'll do this down in the bottom corner, by stamping this one. Just clean that off, and I'll actually now clean that because I'm not going to use it again. And then stamping the full pattern. Now that's still got some ink on it, so I could stamp the full pattern over the top of my balloon like so, and then cut it out, but this keeps it directly onto the block. So there you go, that is the KISS method for stamping, a new method for stamping. I hope you've enjoyed that. Give it a go, let me know how you go. You do need some sort of solid stamp and then something. You don't actually need a solid and then a non-solid. You could always put a solid into the middle of that. That would work as well. I could have used this star onto the balloon, but I just felt like that would go really well with this pattern here. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching. Stay dry and warm on this wet, wintry day. Stay safe, keep crafting, and bye for now.